better. So I got into watches a long time ago. My father was a watch collector.
Okay.
He started collecting watches in like probably the mid 1970s.
Yeah.
And he got started by, it's a very funny story. When I was there when this happened, I was probably about 11, 12 years old when he got into watches.
Oh,
My
wow.
aunt had this really cool little pocket watch, an American pocket watch. And the pocket watch had all these different colors of gold, like yellow, gold, green, gold. I don't know if you're familiar with like American pocket watches, but it was like some Waltham or something. And
Oh,
so my mom had this little piece of jewelry. And my dad said, hey, and my mom didn't really like the piece of jewelry or something. And my dad goes, hey, will you trade this piece of jewelry for this pocket watch?
yeah.
And they did the trade. And from that day on,
Yeah.
I guess I got this addiction from my dad. He just
Okay.
became a crazy pocket watch collector. And then a couple of years later, he moved over into wristwatches.
Yeah.
So my whole life, I was like going around to antique shows with my dad, and you could find watches all over the place. But I wasn't really into it when I was like 14, 15, 16. I just kind of like watched what he was doing.
Yeah.
And when I got into college, probably about my sophomore year, I came home one spring break from college. I went to school in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And I came home and he had like all these wristwatches on his dining table. And I was like, wow, these are actually pretty cool. I really like these. They're neat. I started like showing an appreciation towards the watches.
Yeah.
And I kind of always, growing up,
Yeah.
um, but mostly like current watches. Like I had a Seiko when I was about 14 years old with a calculator on it, and I really liked it. And I had a before that, when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, there was this cartoon called Go Speed Racer.
Okay.
Probably before your time. I don't know if you heard of it,
No, I don't think
but
that.
it
No.
was like kind of like a comic watch, and it had these two cars going around for the seconds. So I
Okay.
always kind of had like I always liked watches. So anyway, I come home that college break. I'm like, I'm going to start trying to find these in Washington, D.C. So I went back to school, started going around to like, you could find them at pawn shops, jewelry stores, just start going around and buying watches. And actually, it took me about 6 months to a year to buy my very first watch because I kept calling my dad, how much is this worth? How much is that worth? He was like Google today, but I had a human to talk to.